Together on many national concerns important to you and our communities. The foreclosure prevention strategy you have heard here today affects a small number of homeowners, but that is not the purpose. Our aim is to show that this is a viable strategy and make a case for massive federal action. Will you give us your reaction to this foreclosure prevention strategy?
Thank you, Yvonne. First, today's local papers report, I picked these two communities because they are in my district, that in the city of San Fernando, 50% drop in home values in 1 year, 5-0. In Pacoima, 45% drop in home values in 1 year. Meanwhile, the homeowners in my community, some of them dealing with interest rate resets that take their payments far beyond what they ever fully appreciated at the time they borrowed the money, or with losses of jobs or going from full-time to part-time, are finding themselves unable to continue in their home. Stephanie makes 3 proposals, all of which I think I endorse completely and am fighting to get. First of all, her third proposal, the notion that we in the federal government are appropriating money to give to banks who are then stiff-arming any effort to modify the loans of the people that they lend to is unacceptable. The House this past week passed a bill which unfortunately, because there's these 2 houses and the other one ain't going to take it up, that requires that $100 billion of the $350 billion appropriated go strictly to deal with the problem of home foreclosures. But the good news is, because that's not going to become law, President Obama and the new Secretary of Treasury and the entire economic team have indicated with this new round of money, we're not going to see the same old, where the money is given to the banks, no strings, no conditions, no transparency. Secondly, under current law, a bankruptcy judge, with your second vacation home down by the ocean or up in the mountains, and you go into bankruptcy, that judge has the ability to modify the terms of your mortgage. But if it's your only home and your principal residence, the bankruptcy judge has no authority to do that. The House Judiciary Committee is going to mark up and pass. I am a co-sponsor of this legislation and a strong supporter. The effort to give the authority to these judges to change the nature of the mortgage where the bank or the lending institution will not do that voluntarily. But we don't want to force people into bankruptcy, but the existence of that change, I believe, will change the whole nature of the relationship between the lending institutions and the mortgage holder, because knowing what could happen if they're not more flexible, I think they will see the reason to be more flexible. And third, to the extent that we have now at the federal level come into the lending business, obviously we should be providing these kinds of affordable mortgages in place of the mortgages. So on all 3 counts that Stephanie outlined, I'm supporting, and Mercedes over there now, she and I have already been talking, because once we put this legislation in place, we're going to have a group from LA with our delegation and the key folks in the delegation going to the executive branch to look at LA as a place to start out and where they're ready to go and ready to absorb this, to create and push funding for the kind of program that OneLA has talked about in their proposal.
And we would like to be there with you, Congressman Berman and Mercedes. We would like to be there with you to support you and to make sure that this happens.
I think that's a good idea.
One more thing. One more item. You've heard that we of our goal to convene this national conference on foreclosures. And we want to know if your office will work with us in convening this conference to ensure the participation of key players such as the FDIC, the Federal Housing Administration, the Federal Reserve, and other federal agencies that you believe would be important to participate in this conference.
Well, when I got up here earlier, I said my office and OneLA are partners, and both sides have to do what they can to help, and that's what I can do to help. I certainly commit to making every possible effort to get the right kind of people at this conference.
Thank you. Thank you.